Tom, question for you. A lot of people, how many of you, when you're talking to your friends and family,
they turn it off?
A lot of the people that are your, folks you work with, or maybe they want to support Trump, they're like, look, I'm convinced there's going to be cheating. I'm convinced this is going to be stolen. How many of you have friends that believe that? Raise your hand if you believe. Okay. How effective is it when you hear these stats that Laura Trump and others have hired 5,000 lawyers to make sure everyone is being held accountable? Do you think their administration has done a good job preparing lawyers to protect anything that could happen that's illegal?
Yeah, Tom, take mine.
No, I think that's good and prudent, right?
Check.
When the Chinese start lining up ships and Air Force bases right near Taiwan, you take them serious. What we have seen is something we need to take serious, and I think getting those lawyers ready to challenge things, we have to be ready. It's almost like to have a fair election, you have to show that you are going to act swiftly and strongly to make sure it's fair. It's almost like, in defense, that the best defense of a country is to show strength and willingness to take the step. And I think having the lawyers ready tells the other side, we're watching, we want fair elections, and we're going to protect it.
We talked about it earlier today. Ronna McDaniel getting out and Laura Trump taking over. Because if Ronna McDaniel was in, no lawyers, no nothing. She's in the establishment. I think him getting Laura Trump in there is absolutely fantastic. And again, I'll keep going back to X. You wouldn't be seeing any of these videos of people complaining and people saying they're closing the lines, we can't leave. People bringing camera phones and showing, I'm hitting Trump and it's hitting Kamala's name on these voting machines. So I think one of the biggest moves was getting Laura Trump in there because she means business and she's not playing games, and that's what I like.
A story that nobody's talking about, something that's really interesting is I think what's going to happen is if you look at how the mainstream media is behaving, they are very, very worried. The money starts talking because people, so let me give you an example. Let me give you a stat. Washington Post over the past 4 years has lost half its readership. They lost $70 million last year. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. He bought it for his daughter. That's why he's saying, hey guys, nobody is reading your articles because nobody trusts you. And the New York Times, you know why the New York Times, the great New York Times, you know why they make money? They're crossword puzzles. Nobody is reading their stories either. Maybe a couple pockets on the coasts. And so now what you're going to see is if these magazines, if these newspapers, if this media wants to stay in business, they got to start telling the truth. So to me, that's the silver lining, and nobody's talking about that story. But money starts talking, man, and the more you lie, the more the rest of us go, I'm not reading that. I don't read the New York Times. I used to read it cover to cover. I haven't read it in 10 years because I don't trust it. I don't believe it because they're lying. And so what you are going to see, like with the Washington Post, is people like Jeff Bezos going, hey, you guys, you suck, get with it, write the truth, or we're going to die. And that's what's happening. So I like that. That's what the free market says.
That's a very good point. Rob, do you have the clip of what happened at Maricopa County today where the guy came out with some bad news for Kamala Harris saying, wait a minute, you guys cannot be doing this, and publicly talked about in the video? Did you guys see this in Maricopa County or no? What happened earlier today? If you haven't seen this, you got to see this clip because this is not a good look with people being held accountable. Rob, I put a thumbs up in the video that's in the text if you want to find it. Brandon, I think you have it as well because you texted to us. Rob, I'll just text it to you directly. And by the way, there's a guy who has been on our podcast a few times. He used to be hated 100% of the time. Then he went to 80%, then 70%, then 60%. Some people like him right now. And this guy's got a weird last name. His name is Chris Cuomo, okay? He may join us in a few minutes. Let's see what he has to say. Hang tight. While we're getting him ready, I want you to watch this video. Go ahead, Rob. This is Maricopa County. Let me say it to you before he says it. Maricopa County officials just announced bad news for Kamala Harris and the Democrats yesterday. Go ahead, Rob. Show this clip.
Of those approximately 1.4 million ballot packets, we have sent approximately 27,000 to curing so far. Now, what curing is that's the process by which we attempt to contact the voter if we cannot match the signature. We have cured about 15,000 so far out of that 27,000. We have until 5 calendar days after Election Day in order to cure as many of those as we can. Of those approximately 1.4 million ballot packets, we have sent approximately 27,000 to curing so far. Now, what curing is that's the process by which we attempt to contact the voter if we cannot match the signature. We have cured about 15,000 so far out of that 27,000. We have until 5 calendar days after Election Day in order to cure as many of those as we can.
By the way, Tom, to the person that doesn't know what this means, what did he just say? We've cured. What does that mean to the average person?
Well, to say he's curing means something is sick. And what was sick is they received a bunch of mail-in ballots. There were some signatures that they could not identify or that were improperly filled out. So they actually, in Arizona, make phone calls over a 5-day period to try to reach the voter. Did you vote here and drop this off? I'm trying to get your name and your signature to line up, and the ballot was not correctly signed. If they can contact it, then they say that sick ballot is cured and it goes in the stack to be counted.
So is this bad news for them when something like this happened in Maricopa County that said we probably need 10 to 12 days to count everything?
I think Maricopa had those lawsuits with Kerry Lake last time, and so they're doing the right thing and being transparent,
That's
saying
good.
we have a problem.
Well, that's great to see that. When you're seeing that, all we want, if you ask the average person what they're looking for, the average person just wants a fair election. If we have a fair election, there's not a lot to be worried about.
Just tell me, please.
Were you going to say something?
Can I see an image of that guy one more time, please? I don't know who he is. I don't know what he represents. It was hard to hear, but I'm questioning his decision-making ability. Just shave it off, bro.
That hair, his hair looks like it got caught in a fire.
I don't know if you're left. I don't know if you're right. I know that. What I do know, Ryan Callen, is the one thing I hear of Maricopa County.
I got better hair than that guy does.
Prince from Britain.
Yeah,
Isn't that guy's hair like
Prince
that?
Henry's cousin.
Is that hair?
See what you're trying to. We have a lot of beautiful bald people here. Rob Garju. I see Siamak over here. See a guy just embrace it. Jason Statham. I don't know what he's saying. What I do know is Maricopa County. Is that the same county in Arizona where there was the Sheriff Joe Arpaio? This county seems to be a lot of nonsensical things going on. Callen, have you been following this for a while?
Probably, yeah. Probably. But it's a very important county. So they say as Maricopa County goes, so goes the state. So it's a very important county.
There's another guy in Arizona. I don't know if he's joining us. I don't want to, but there's a guy who maybe could take care of a few things.
Which guy from Arizona?
One of the best decisions I ever made in my life was joining the U.S. Army. When I served the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, the level of pride of America being the greatest country in the world went to the roof. If you are a veteran, or if you support veterans, you have family members, Veterans Day, we have brand spanking new gear for you to choose from, a whole plethora of options of what to choose from, with shirts that say we support armed veterans, I am an armed veteran, dog tags, shirts, hats, all of the different gears that we have. And for the first 250 people that place an order, you have the option of 12 to 15 brand spanking new mugs that we have. One says Angry Patriot, another one says BizDoc, another one has got the U.S. flag, another one has PBD Podcast or Valuetainment or A Future Looks Bright. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order for Veterans Day. These things are going to go very quickly, and you'll get a custom mug that'll be sent your way.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.